If you're over 60 and living alone, and maybe, just maybe, feeling a little lonely sometimes, hey, let's get something straight right now. It doesn't have to be that way. You're not alone in feeling this way. Not by a long shot. Thousands, maybe millions of people your age are quietly sitting with that same feeling. And not because they did something wrong, but simply because life changes. People move, loved ones pass, children grow and move to different cities. And suddenly the house gets quieter. The days get longer. And sometimes it can feel like the world is moving on without you. But here's the truth that often goes unsaid. You don't have to stay stuck in that feeling. You really don't. Because right here, right now, we're reaching out to walk with you, to offer not just words, but companionship, perspective, and a spark of hope, to bring a little lightness into your days, and to share some real, practical steps you can take to make life not just bearable, but truly joyful again. You know that old idea people have, that living alone must be cold, sad, or echoey, that the silence in the house means silence in the heart? Well, not so fast. Let me gently challenge that, because I've seen something different. I've seen mornings where the kettle whistles quietly, while sunlight pours through the curtains and someone, sitting peacefully at their kitchen table, smiles at the steam rising from their cup of tea. I've seen people who live alone, yet wake up with purpose, end their days with peace, and in between fill their hours with meaning, discovery, and yes, connection. Because living alone can be beautiful, really, if you learn how to be good company for yourself. And no, this isn't about being left behind or waiting for time to pass. This is about choosing to make something beautiful with this chapter of life, even if others don't quite understand it. There are folks out there, well into their 70s and 80s, living solo and thriving. They've got a sparkle in their eyes, a fresh cup of coffee brewing every single morning. Maybe a cat curled up at the foot of the bed. Maybe a playlist with their favorite old tunes ready to go. Because they've discovered a truth that changes everything. Joy isn't something you wait for. It's something you create. But hey, we all know there are days when the silence gets heavy, heavier than we care to admit. When you'd give anything just to hear someone ask, "How was your day?" Or to feel the comforting rustle of a newspaper being shared at the kitchen table. And that's where many people get it wrong. They wait for someone to knock, wait for the phone to ring, wait for connection to come from the outside. But let me share a little golden secret with you. Sometimes everything changes the moment you take the first step. It doesn't have to be grand. It could be as simple as a cheerful good morning with a smile, a text message that says, "Just thinking of you today," or a walk around a block to feel the sunshine again. And yes, it could also mean learning something new, like how to dance salsa in your living room, or trying out an online watercolor class you never thought you'd enjoy. This video, it's for you. For anyone living alone who still wants to live fully, with joy, with meaning, with grace. You'll hear real stories. You'll get practical ideas, some gentle truths, and who knows, maybe even a laugh or two along the way. So come on, let's explore together how to leave loneliness behind and step into this chapter of life with everything it still has to offer. You see, a lot of people think that after a certain age, life just becomes more of the same. Wake up, eat, watch TV, sleep, repeat. But if only they knew the power of a quiet morning, of brewing that first cup of coffee with love, of playing a favorite song that instantly brings back memories of dancing barefoot in the kitchen, creating a gentle morning routine, one that makes you want to get out of bed. That's not a small thing. That's a gift you give yourself every single day. And here's the beautiful part. It doesn't have to be complicated. You wake up at the same time, open the windows, stretch just enough to feel your body again, play music that soothes your spirit, make a cup of tea that tastes like childhood, maybe chamomile or cinnamon, or that herbal blend your grandmother used to keep in a tin box. That's how you start taking back your day. That's how you begin to feel like you're in control again, even if it's just in your own cozy corner of the world. And there's a kind of magic in that. You know that feeling when you're doing something just for you? Watering the plants, tidying your space with music playing softly in the background, making your bed like you're expecting a guest, except the guest is you. Those little things, they're not so little. They bring color into your day. They make you feel alive. And honestly, that's one of the secrets to aging well. No joke, some folks look and feel younger when they start adding these simple joys into their routine. Because guess what? Routine doesn't have to be boring. It can be a warm, soft hug you give yourself every day. It can be a way of saying, I matter. My time matters. Think about it. Even plants need rhythm to grow strong. They bloom with light, water, and gentle consistency. Why would we be any different? Having a loose schedule, nothing rigid, just caring, helps settle your mind and soothe your heart. It reminds you that life is still moving, that something good might be just around the corner. And it's in this gentle rhythm, this dance with time, that you begin to realize living alone doesn't mean living disconnected. In fact, sometimes all it takes is a smile or a phone call to turn someone's whole day around. And here's the most amazing thing. It turns your day around too. We often forget that giving a little warmth returns to us tenfold. It's in our nature to connect, to reach out, to feel seen, and to help others feel the same. There are days when the urge to talk is so strong, so real, it almost feels like a knot in your chest. You glance at the phone, think about calling someone. But then the doubt creeps in. They're probably busy. Or worse, they don't really want to hear from me. But listen, who said connection has to fall from the sky? Who said it needs to come from someone else first? Sometimes it starts with you. And that, my friend, is powerful. Pick up the phone. Call that old friend you used to laugh so hard with, you cried. Send a voice message, just to share a silly update. Maybe something as simple as, you won't believe what happened with my bread dough today. Because sometimes a sincere little hey there turns into a heartwarming conversation. The kind that lingers like sunshine on your skin. The kind that makes you say, why don't I do this more often? We underestimate how much people want to hear from us, especially those who also live alone. They're waiting too, waiting for someone like you to remind them they matter. And you know what else helps? Letting yourself smile more, even if it feels a little forced at first, even if it's just to the mirror. Because something happens inside when you smile. Your shoulders relax, your thoughts soften, and the world doesn't feel quite so far away. A smile for the cashier at the corner store, a friendly good morning to the neighbor upstairs, a brief chat while waiting in line for fresh bread or picking up medicine. It might seem small, but those moments, they're the stitches that quietly mend the fabric of your days. We're not meant to live in silence. We're meant to share our presence. Not always with words, sometimes just with warmth. With a look, a smile, a gentle nod. And here's the thing. There are so many groups out there, just for folks over 60. No, seriously. Look around. There's ballroom dancing, gentle yoga, meditation meetups, book circles, gardening clubs, even tech classes to help you figure out your phone or tablet. And no, you won't be the odd one out. Everyone's there for the same reason. To share some warmth, to have a good laugh, to feel like they still belong. Connection isn't about having dozens of friends. It's about one or two meaningful exchanges a day. Moments that remind you you're not invisible, that you're still part of the dance. And yes, it takes courage. Walking into a new room, logging into a new Zoom class, saying hi when your heart wants to hide. But remember, everyone else is just as nervous as you are. And the magic happens right after you push through that little fear. Connection is like planting seeds. It might take time to bloom, but oh, how it's worth the wait. A good conversation can heal a whole day's worth of loneliness. Even 10 minutes of shared laughter can echo in your heart for hours. And here's the secret. The more we open up, the more life responds. Doesn't matter if you live alone or if your kids live miles away. Taking even one small step towards someone else, can change everything. And sometimes, in the middle of a casual chat, something surprising happens. A memory wakes up. A long-forgotten dream stirs. You start talking about a trip you once took, or a song you used to play on the guitar. And suddenly, you feel a flicker of something bright inside you again. That's not coincidence. That's your soul remembering who you are. Because living alone doesn't mean your story ended. Far from it. It means you now have more space. More silence, yes, but also more freedom. To rediscover the parts of yourself that got left behind along the way. Now listen. There are days when your heart just wants quiet. But not that kind of empty quiet. Not the kind that echoes too loudly. I mean the kind of quiet that nourishes. The kind that gently pulls you inward. To remember who you've been. And imagine who you still might become. And maybe, just maybe, that starts with something as simple as a notebook. Think about that old journal tucked in the back of a drawer. What if you opened it again? Not to write anything perfect. Just to listen to yourself. Write down a memory. Sketch a little doodle. Paste in a photo from last week. Jot down what you saw on your walk today. The lady with the pink umbrella. The tree blooming again by the pharmacy. These little things. They're proof that you're still observing. Still noticing beauty. Still present. And more than that, they're proof that your story isn't over. Not even close. Your story is still being written. One new page at a time. And some of the best chapters, they come later than anyone expects. So take your time. Revisit old dreams. Dust off your curiosity. Ask yourself, would I love to try again if nobody was watching? Would you write poetry? Take photos of birds on your balcony? Plant something new in your garden? Because this is your moment. No need for permission. No deadline. Just the quiet bravery of showing up for your own life, day by day. Now let's talk about self-care. And no, it's not just putting on a little moisturizer. Though, hey, that never hurts. It's deeper than that. It's curling up on the couch with a blanket over your knees. Putting on a little music. Maybe an old bolero or that classic samba you loved. And letting yourself feel. Letting yourself cry if you need to. Letting yourself laugh out loud at a silly video your niece sent. Speaking out loud when something moves you, even if no one's around to hear it. It's looking in the mirror and saying, I'm still here. I'm still strong. I'm still becoming. That is aging with grace. That is loving yourself for real. And when you start remembering those old dreams, something magical happens. That spark to live, it comes back. Gentle but steady. Not demanding, just inviting you. Ever wanted to learn how to paint? Try a new kind of crochet? Write a letter to your younger self? Adopt a pet that makes your house feel alive again? It's never too late, my friend. Never. There's no expiration date on wonder. There's no age limit on joy. Care for a plant. Try out a new cake recipe. Find a song that makes your hips sway, even if just a little. Because here's the beautiful truth. The future didn't end. It just changed tempo. And in this new rhythm, that's where the surprises live. That's where unexpected moments happen. Encounters with old memories. Encounters with yourself. And quiet little possibilities that have been waiting just beneath the surface, ready to bloom. Now tell me this. What are you going to do tomorrow morning to start your day a little differently? Will you brew that cup of tea just right? Not in a rush, not distracted, but like it's a gift you're giving yourself? Will you step outside and lift your face to the sun, even if only for a minute, just to feel the morning on your skin? Will you open up that memory journal and write a few lines from the heart, or maybe flip back through what you've already written and see how far you've come? Will you say good morning to the doorman next door? Or compliment a stranger's colorful scarf? Or wave to a neighbor you haven't spoken to in years? Because if there's one thing that's been clear here today, it's this. Growing older with health isn't just about the body. It's about keeping your soul dancing, even if it's to the beat of an old radio in the background. And aging isn't something we deal with. It's something we learn to embrace. Not every day will be bright, but that doesn't mean your light has dimmed. And let me ask you something straight from the heart. What dream of yours is still sitting there, quietly waiting, just hoping you'll find the courage to let it out? You know the one. Maybe it's something you used to do, but put aside when life got too busy. Maybe it's something you never told anyone about, because it felt too silly, too bold, too late. But here's the truth. It's never too late. Never too late to rediscover yourself, to get excited about something, to laugh by yourself, to make new friends, to care for yourself with the tenderness you truly deserve. Old age? It might just be a second chance in disguise, a blank canvas, a new chapter where the story gets softer, but also deeper, more soulful, more you, and starting over. That's a gift only those who've truly lived long enough can fully appreciate. Because you know what matters now. You're not chasing approval. You're not rushing. You're rooted in something real. You've survived the storms, and now you get to choose the sunshine. Maybe for you, that looks like joining a local art class, or learning how to use a video call app so you can see your grandkids' faces more often. Or maybe it's something smaller, but no less powerful, like lighting a candle in the evening, sitting with a book, and telling yourself, I am enough. And if you're wondering, is it selfish to put myself first now? Let me be clear. No, it's necessary. Taking care of your own heart doesn't take away from anyone else. In fact, it overflows into everything around you. Because when you feel more at peace, you become more present, more open, more willing to give from a place that doesn't leave you empty. You begin to show up in the world again, not out of obligation, but out of joy, out of the fullness of your spirit. And here's something tender I want to say directly to you. If there are tears sometimes, let them come. You're not weak. You're alive. And being alive at this stage, after all you've seen, all you've felt, all you've lost and rebuilt, that's something sacred. Maybe you've buried dreams. Maybe you've said too many goodbyes. Maybe you're carrying stories no one else knows. But those stories, they've made you who you are. They're not a weight. They're the wisdom you now carry. The kind of wisdom that can gently guide others, even with just a smile or a kind word. So don't be afraid to share your light, even if it flickers some days, even if you're still learning how to hold it again. Now picture this. You sitting by your window, notebook in hand, a fresh cup of something warm beside you, soft music playing low. And outside, the world keeps turning, people rushing, but you're rooted in peace, in purpose, in presence, because you're not just waiting anymore. You're living. And living alone doesn't mean living without joy. It means learning to become your own best companion. It means dancing in the kitchen with nobody watching. It means baking that cake just because you want a slice. It means planting that herb garden on a balcony because fresh basil makes you smile. And sometimes it means nothing more than this. Choosing yourself again and again with love. And if this message made you think, if it touched something inside you, or even just brought out the tiniest smile at the corner of your lips, then don't leave without hitting that subscribe button. Yeah, go on. Click it. Not for me. For you. Because we've got so many more good conversations ahead. So many more laughs, gentle reminders, and soft nudges that say, hey, you matter. You're still becoming. Keep going. Turn on that little bell, too, so you don't miss a thing. And let this space be your safe corner of the internet. A place where it's okay to start again every single day if needed. And hey, before you go, tell me in the comments, what part of this story spoke to you the most today? Was it the part about morning routines? The idea of reconnecting with old dreams? Or maybe just the simple invitation to smile again? I'd really love to hear from you. Because your voice, it matters here. And more importantly, it matters in the world. So go ahead, leave your little mark today, and I'll be right here, ready for the next conversation. Because the journey isn't over. It's just beginning again. And you, my friend, are absolutely worth every step of it.